Hello and welcome to episode 34 of Stitching Over the Days. My name is Constance and I want to thank any new viewers and also any returning viewers for taking a moment out of your day to hear all about my sewing and knitting and crochet adventures. And so I'm not going to prolong the time and I'm going to go ahead and get started. I have a few things to share with you today that I'm excited about. But before I get into that, I want to say you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Cleo CMC. That's CLEO CMC. There's also a Ravelry group which I will become more active in it, I promise, when I get more time. But it's Stitching Over the Days on Ravelry. And so today the layout of the program will be the same. I have some finished objects to share with you. Then I wanted to get into a couple of works in progress or future works in progress. Then I'll share what I'm wearing, and I have a little bit of chatter with a bit of admin at the end. So I'm going to get started. Well, last episode, about a month ago, I was sharing with you all the gauge swatch that I was making for my honeysuckle cardigan. This is a design by Marie Wallen, and it's just simply amazing to me. I mean, we have more time on our hands, definitely, with our staying home due to the coronavirus, but it's still pretty amazing to me that I was able to finish a complete Fair Isle cardigan in less than a month, and I'm super happy with it. And so I'm not gonna talk too much about it before I show it to you. And so at first I'll share with you. So this is my honeysuckle cardigan. I absolutely love it so much. It turned out so beautiful. It's funny because I knew that I liked the design and I loved it and I worked it up, but it turned out even better than I expected. It's something about actually having the garment, like once you actually work it up or have it physically in your view, or what I'm trying to say, instead of just looking at it at a picture, then you actually get to see the details up close, and it just seems that the colors are more vivid, that they really pop. I can see the designs up close, and I love staring at it because one minute you may see one design, and then if you stare at it a little bit more, you may see another design. That's why I really like Fair Isle. The garment is from Marie Wallen's Meadow collection. And as I stated, it is her honeysuckle cardigan. Let me show you an image of it. And so, yes, this garment is absolutely beautiful. I wanted to stay with the exact same color palette. And she actually made another version and two other color palettes in her British Breeze yarn. And you can see one of those versions from the Gentle collection, which is her most recent collection. And I'll be honest, it's funny, I had already purchased the yarn immediately for this version of the honeysuckle cardigan, which is worked in Jamieson's Shetland yarn. But when I saw the British Breeze version, I was like, oh, I really love that version, or whatever. And so I was like, maybe I could cast it on in 2021. But since I already had the yarn, of course, for this version, then I stayed with this version. And as I noted also in the previous podcast, I noticed that the color, what color was substituted? They gave me the color Sunrise instead of Paprika. And at first I was all, oh, I'm not going to worry about it and it's not going to bother me. But then it started to bother me just a tad, like after I completed the back. And the only reason that it started to bother me a bit was that I was looking at like the Marie Wallen Instagram live, and she was talking about tones and colors, and I was like, oh, is that color within the same tone? Like, is it right? Is it going to take away from the design? I mean, I was really getting stuck on this one color. Then I looked at the live the following week, and she talked a bit more about tones, and I was like, okay, I think it'll be fine. And so, I mean, at that point I had already completed the back to the cardigan, so I was just going to go ahead and go with it. And I still absolutely love this cardigan, and actually that slight change in that one color, it makes it more unique to me. So I guess that is my version has one color change. And so but ideally, when I make all over Fair Isle garments, I tend to just like to stick to the colors that the designer used, because I don't feel so confident with making that many color choices, because I think that this design used 11 colors. Okay, let's get into the construction a bit. This design is worked flat. I talked about it a bit, but I'll talk about it more. I know a lot of knitters don't like to do Fair Isle flat in the flat, which I don't have a problem with, and I actually recorded a couple of videos on the channel. They're not like tutorials, but they're just to give you an idea of how I purl Fair Isle flat, how I hold my yarns, just so you all can see, because I was getting requests on how I what's my preferred method. And of course, my method is not the only method, and so there are numerous methods out there, and also there are very clear and good tutorials out there to help you if you wanted to just learn that skill. However, if you go to Ravelry, you will see that quite a few other knitters have converted the pattern to work it in a round. So it is definitely possible if you just do not like working Fair Isle garments in the flat. And so, but I chose to do so, and I am actually really happy with it. It turned out really nice. I just love it. And so anything else, I made absolutely no changes. I know that I had to go down, yes, one needle size to get gauge, and it worked out perfectly. I think the fit is really lovely. And it's funny because I'm trying to make sure I remember everything, because often I will look at episodes later and say, oh, I should have said that, I should have said that. And so yes, if you want to see how I purl, then yeah, you can refer to that video. I also did a video on how to catch floats, how I catch floats, and that's it. But other than that, one thing about Fair Isle, and Marie Wallen stated this, and I agree completely, it's actually just stockinette stitch worked with colors, and so it's actually fairly simple. So once you get the your preferred method of holding a yarn or working with color work, I think that you'll really enjoy this project. I did. It flew off the needles because I was so excited about it. I was like, oh, I just want to see the pattern come together. I did not want to put it down. I had to remind myself to come up for air, because often I would work on it, and then before I knew it, it'd be 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, oh my goodness, where did the time go? And so I just really enjoyed this. Also, this was my first time working with the Jamieson's of Shetland Spindrift yarn, and it was such a delight. I really enjoyed it. So much so that I'm planning to make 2 additional garments with that yarn. Of course, they are Marie Wallen designs, and I really want to make that a solid garment with the Jamieson's of Shetland. And so I am planning to make the Mallow pullover by Marie Wallen. I actually was thinking about casting it on immediately after I finished my honeysuckle cardigan, but I was having a hard time choosing what to start next with my project. So I actually did a poll, which was my first time doing it, asking my Instagram followers what should I cast on next. And so they voted for a Jade Starmore design that I already have the kit for, and so I'm going to share that with you in the works in progress section. So yes, that is it. Of course, I have images. I'll do a twirl at the end of the video so you can see the details of the garment, but for now I can just flip it on the inside out, just so you can get an idea of how it looks, because I did take a photo of the garment inside out, but I know that I still know that other knitters like to see it, how the work looks. So I'll quickly show that to you, just getting it all together. So this is how the garment looks on the wrong side. Someone on Instagram said it could be reversible. I thought that was nice. So that is it. Now the honeysuckle cardigan, I'll say one more thing. I didn't do a make 9 this year because I did them in previous years, and I never really adhered to it. So I kind of did a loose setting of goals with my craft goals this year, and they all mainly focused on knitwear. And there was one crochet project, and two projects that were a part of my 2020 goals included the Monteach cardigan, which I have completed, and the honeysuckle cardigan. Those were a part of my goals for 2020, and so I have completed two of those goals, and I had three more goals for the year 2020, which included the Mary Queen of Scots, which I really think that I will finish that this year because I have already started that project, and that is an Alice Starr Moore design from Tudor Roses. Another goal was to do the Anne Boleyn cardigan by Alice Starr Moore. I'm not sure if I will complete that by the end of the year, but I would love to actually have it cast on before the year's out. And another project was the Orla jumper by Marie Wallen, and that's a crochet design. And so those are like my main 2020 goals, but of course I know that I will be working up other things, as you all know too, but those were just the main goals. Okay, that's it for the honeysuckle cardigan, and I'll give insert the twirls at the end of this video. Okay, so now let's get into the next knit project. I did not expect to finish this project so quickly. I thought that, oh, by the time I do another podcast, I hope to finish my honeysuckle cardigan, and I'll share with you like my work in progress of this sweater. I'm looking at it right now, the Lawrence sweater, which I absolutely love. Well, let me just say that this is a very quick knit. I say this all the time. I don't think I'm a fast knitter, and I know that other knitters have finished it also within a few days. And it's made with an Aran weight yarn, and so I chose to go with the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Tweed, which is one of my favorite yarns. I've made 3 cardigans previously with that yarn, and they all get heavy rotation. And what I'll do in a future episode is I'll actually do a review of that yarn. I already did a review on my Instagram stories, but I know everyone doesn't check Insta stories, and so what I'll do is in a future episode I'll actually give you a review of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Tweed. But it's definitely a great yarn, and so this color is Brass Heather. Now I'm not sure if I named the design, but yes, this is the Lawrence sweater by Lily Kate France. I think I said it, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss it. So as soon as Lily Kate showed an image of this cardigan, I was like, those sleeves, I love that so much. And so I was just waiting. I was looking forward to when she would release the pattern, and she released the pattern, and I was commenting, I was like, oh, you have to let me know how much yarn I need, because I immediately want to cast this project on. And so I actually went into my stash, and I had enough of this Wool of the Andes Tweed to make the cardigan. I was so happy. And so yes, I cast the project on last Saturday. Yes, and then before I knew it, I think I completed the I had joined the end of round by the end of Saturday, and I may have completed the back on by the end of Sunday, because it's a really enjoyable knit, but it has such a clever construction. There are many fun elements, and it has really nice details, and it's just, I love it. Yes. And so I'm going to, I think I did a twirl already of the garment, but I'll just quickly show you a few details. But look at those puff sleeves. Oh, I love that. And look at the ribbing on the side. It gives it that really nice shaping. And it is a top-down seamless knit. So if you love that construction, you're gonna really enjoy it. I used to do only that type of construction for years. That was the construction I did for all of my garments. But as you all know, I love to do seam garments now also. And so, but I forgot one of the perks, of course, of the seamless garments is I didn't have to seam it at the end. And so I had just a few ends to weave in at the end, and it was done before I knew it. And oh, when I was talking about weaving in ends, I saved all of my ends from my honeysuckle cardigan just to share with you all. Because after weaving in all of the ends for my honeysuckle cardigan, then of course weaving in the ends for my Lawrence sweater went by like in no time. So I put them in this little bowl here. And these are all of the ends that I had to weave in for the honeysuckle cardigan. Someone said that, what did she say? She would actually spin this. And so I'm not a spinner, but I just saved them for now. Also, I know that Alice Moore has a tutorial on like creating felted buttons, so it could be used for that also. But they're just sitting in the bowl. Okay, going back quickly to the honeysuckle cardigan, I forgot to say that weaving in the ends does take time. I set aside a few days to weave in the ends, and as I stated before, I don't mind that part because at that point I was ready to take a break from the actual knitting, and I just popped in some mysteries and I just set about weaving in the ends, and so that worked because it was a good time to just wind down. And so back to the Lawrence sweater. I love this design. I love Lily Kate's designs. I just think they're so flattering. I just think they're amazing. I made a couple of modifications. Lily Kate modeled the garment and she's taller than me. And so I'm only 5'2", and so I shortened my garment down to 18 inches for the length. And then also I shortened my sleeves by 2 inches because I actually compared the sleeves to a dress of mine that came right above the elbow. And I knew that I needed from the underarm to get right above the elbow, I needed it to be 5 inches. And I did that and it hits at the perfect spot. That's exactly what I wanted. And so I was able to achieve that. But those aren't major modifications. I just simply shortened the length, and I just absolutely love this design. I love the yarn. I'm just so happy with it. I know that I'm going to get a lot of wear out of it. I actually plan to wear it as long as I can, even in the spring and summer, and I'm going to wear it of course in the colder months. And I love her designs and this yarn so much that I just want to say that Lily Kate is hosting her first knit along in June. And so before she even announced this knit along, I had already placed an order for some more Knit Picks Wool of the Andes tweed to make her Be Thankful cardigan because I thought it was absolutely beautiful and I love the shape of it, and it would be slightly different from, I mean, it's still a crop cardigan, but those sleeves on the Be Thankful cardigan are so amazing. And so yeah, Lily Kate knows how to do sleeves. And so I had already placed an order, so when she announced the knit along, I was like, hey, my yarn is already on its way. And so I'm excited. I'm definitely joining her knit along. And so yeah, if you knit any of her designs, you can join it. So that is it for the Lawrence sweater. And I also sewed a matching garment for the sweater. Now this is my 5th time making this skirt and I really like it. This is Butterick 5466 and I made version B. And again, I went with Rifle Paper Company fabric because of course you all know I love Rifle Paper Company fabric. And this is their Monstera Leaf, which is print, which is one of my favorite prints by them. This print and the Juliet Rose are my top favorites from Rifle Paper Company, and this fabric is their canvas fabric, and so it worked up super quickly. That's why I like this design. I did the cut out and also sewed it within a few hours, maybe 3.5 hours, if that. And I finished my seams. Sometimes I forget to share the inside of my the garments that I sew, so I remember to do that. But I finished my seams with my serger. And I'm happy with it, super happy with it. When I made the garment, I made it to wear with my Lawrence sweater. But I knew that, of course, as you all know, this is going to get a lot of wear. Someone asked me on Facebook if I was going to make a green cardigan to match it. And she said, "Is that a silly question?" And then I was like, "Well, how many green cardigans do I own?" And I was like, "I have 6 green cardigans." So I said, I think I'm straight on having a green cardigan to match this skirt. But I think it also looks amazing with this brass heather color. I think it's just really, really nice. And I'm super happy with it. I love revisiting sewing patterns because you know that they're gonna fit nicely. And this was my first time working up the pattern, because when I made it previously, I made it with corduroy. Let me check my time. Yes, I made it with corduroy fabric, but this is my first time doing it with the canvas. And I actually have the Rifle Paper Company Juliet Rose print in canvas in my stash, and so I'm planning to one day make that version also. Well, that is it for the finished objects. All of them I am beyond happy with. I love them all. And I'm happy that I'm able to wear the Lawrence sweater now, because it's just, you guys, I mean, I can't stop gushing about this sweater because it's just so beautiful. It's definitely a favorite of mine. If I was to repeat patterns like I used to do, I used to repeat patterns all the time, I would definitely repeat this pattern. And of course, I'm super happy with my honeysuckle cardigan, but that's pretty much been hanging up. I just placed it on a hanger, and I hung it up because I will not be wearing that cardigan anytime soon, because we've definitely been getting much hotter weather here in South Carolina. But I'm looking forward to when the fall is coming, having that garment, because I like to have garments prepared for when the weather gets cold, and not trying to like knit at the last minute or when the weather's already cold, like, oh, I need a cardigan. So I love that that is done. So I'm going to talk about my works in progress, and also I'll come back and do a bit of chatter, but I'm going to stop it here and I'll be right back. Okay, so after I finished my Lawrence sweater, I had about a skein and a half of yarn left over, which is from the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes tweed in this brass heather color. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna have some yarn left over. And then I saw on Toft's Instagram, they posted this really adorable image of a donkey. And they stated that it was in the first Edward's Menagerie book. So I went to it and I found it, and it was this donkey here, but it was in a different color on the Instagram page. And I was like, oh, that donkey is so adorable. She's adorable. And her name is, I actually had to Google the pronunciation of this name, and I practiced it over and over. But her name is Angharad. And Angharad the donkey is so adorable. So I actually did the body for her. When did I do the body? On Thursday night. But I actually haven't worked on it that much because I was if you saw a video pop up on my channel, I've been having so much fun trying on and playing with the Rowan Spring Trunk Show garments. That's what I was mainly doing yesterday, and getting those images and all of that. But I did complete the body, and I think it's, look at that little tummy. I love the little tummies of the Toft animals. And so what I'm going to do, and then for the contrast hands and feet and the little snout, I'm going to go with this white color here, which is Cascade 220 Superwash. My sister said, who are you making that donkey for? I was like, I don't know. And I was like, I just wanted to make the donkey. And I was like, maybe she'll hang around here for a little bit. But other than that, I'm not sure if she's going to hang around forever, because again, I don't want to, I love making the Toft animals. I think it's so fun. But I don't like ever want to have just an overload of stuffed animals, because they take up space. And so I don't think that Angharad would be good for my niece or nephew, because it is wool yarn, and I do think that my sister would end up tossing it in the wash, even though, you know, you can say over and over, we all know, oh, don't toss it in the wash. And so since this is a wool yarn, it will felt, but the this is super wash. But so it's definitely not going to my niece or nephew. So after I complete the donkey, I think it'll be cute just to hang around here for a while. And then who knows, in the future, maybe it'll find a new home. We shall see. And I also have plans. My kits did arrive from Top. And so, well, that's the work in progress. But now the other things I haven't actually cast on yet, but I plan to cast on as soon as possible. So one of my kits arrived from Top, and I ordered the giraffe. And so I'm looking forward to starting that. And I've already opened the kit and looked in it, and so I have my stuffing in here. They provided a hook and the yarn, and I think the giraffe is super adorable. Again, I think that the giraffe is definitely staying here. Like, I don't know about Ankara, the donkey, but I do know that I want to keep the giraffe because I think that she is adorable. I don't know what the giraffe's name is. I think it's Caitlin, if I'm not mistaken, but let me check. And Caitlin's pattern is also available in the first issue of Edward's Menagerie, but they provide the pattern also with the kit. Yeah, Caitlin the giraffe. So I'm super happy about those projects, and maybe I'll work on the donkey tonight while this video is uploading. But let me share with you my future garment. I mentioned that my Instagram followers voted on what I should cast on next, and it was like neck and neck. It was really close between the Mallow by Maureen Wallen and also the I looked at the pronunciation. I think it may be the Tray, actually, because you know how you say sleigh, S-L-E-I-G-H, and if I'm not mistaken, then it may be the Tray cardigan. I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments. But this is the Tray cardigan by Jade Star Moore. It's absolutely beautiful. They have two colorways. That's another colorway. Wait, let me see. Yes, they have two colorways, like preview on the website, but you can change it and personalize it to your own liking, which I did do. I did do that because I just really like this color, bobbing. I think I've mentioned it before. It's one of my favorite shades from Virtual Yarns, and it is green, of course. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness. So I changed out the gold color, that main gold color at the bottom, and I want to have a green gradient. And then I chose Bobbing Macaire, I think it's the next color, for that middle shade. Oh, look at the undertones of Alistar Moore's yarn. Just glorious, so beautiful. And the final shade is Pebble Beach. That, well, for the contrast colors. So let's see if I can give you an idea of how this is going to go. Let's see. So that's my gradient there. And I stayed with the same main color, which is Peb Solon Goose for the main color. So I'm so excited about this project. Honestly, I wanted to cast it on earlier, but it's kind of like I've been saving. I mean, I don't think that the pandemic will last forever, but it's like I've been saving my Alistar Moore kits just in case, because their shop has closed temporarily, definitely, I'm sure. But I was just like, oh, I don't want to run out of my Alistar Moore yarn and kits, because I always want to have one on the needles and hooks. But I'm excited about finally starting this. And so this is my first Jade Star Moore design. And so I've already done 3 Alistar Moore designs. And so this is my first Jade Star Moore design, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. I do dream of one day making the Firebirds cardigan by Jade Star Moore. It's absolutely beautiful, just gorgeous. And so I think that when they are back to taking orders, I think that will be my first kit that I will order from them, the Firebirds cardigan by J Star Moore. But I'm super happy that I was able to place this order before all of this occurred, and so I already had this kit ready. And so I'm excited about starting that. I need to still wind up my skeins, and then I need to do a gauge swatch, and I'll probably do that in the coming week, and I'll share with you all how it comes along. But I am so excited about it. I think it's going to be beautiful, and I'm super excited about my personalized color choices. Again, I felt pretty confident changing the colors for this design because there were only 3 colors that I was changing, and really I only changed out 2. But like I was saying, if it was like 11 colors like the honeysuckle cardigan, I don't think I have the ability to I don't want to say I don't have the ability, but it would take a bit more head space than I have to change out those colors. Okay, let me get my notes because I don't want to miss them. Okay. So those are my works in progress, and I haven't really started the tray cardigan or trike. I'm not sure what that is. Cardigan yet, but I'm calling it a work in progress. So, what am I wearing today? Now, I was supposed to look this up, but I did make my pants. They are high-waist pants, and they're Gertie's collaboration with Butterick. I do not remember the number at the top of my head. I will put that in the show notes, but I paired it with my Lawrenson sweater. And also, I have just a bit of chatter. I have started venturing out a bit more, not much, and I'm definitely taking precautions, and I'm being safe. I'm wearing my mask, and also making sure to sanitize myself as soon as I get home. And even when I'm out, I have, you know, all of the wipes and everything in my car. And so since I feel a bit more confident to venture out and do things, then I'm going to mail the prizes to the 3 winners of the Kim Hargraves along. And I hope to get that out to you all this week, and then I'll contact you on Ravelry when I send those out. Also, I currently have the spring trunk show of Rowan yarns here at my place. Of course, I'm going to return it to my local yarn store. My local yarn store is Luna Lola, and so I just want to say that they're simply amazing. The owner contacted me, and she knows that I never miss a Rowan trunk show, and she told me that she could bring it curbside to me. So it was really lovely to see Liz, and she brought the trunk show to me. I was like, oh my goodness, what did I do to deserve such wonderful treatment? But I'm so grateful. And so having the trunk show at home is like, I have to admit, it's even better than seeing it at the store. Because when I'm looking at trunk shows at the store, I am a bit more hesitant and reserved, and I don't try on the garments as much as I would like, or as long as I would like, because I just don't want to impose on their time. And then also, I like to take pictures of the garments that I'm wearing because I like to see how it looks at every angle. And then that is why I do the twirls in the video footage, because I like to see how garments move, how they drape, how they flow, and how they are in motion. But of course, you can't do all of that when you're in a yarn shop. And of course, I would have to take my tripod and my camera to the yarn shop and then set up if I was going to do all of that. And I don't think that I am confident enough to even ask them to do that. So having this opportunity has been like a dream to try on the garments. And I did try on the garments and took photos with like my jean shorts, and then also my other summer shorts, and just some regular jeans. But honestly, I tried it on with other dresses in my wardrobes and other skirts, and they looked amazing. They were so wonderful. And so I just wanted to share what I plan to make from the trunk show, because there's always like some designs that you're like, oh, I have to make that after trying it on. And so I'm planning to make the Sartre shawl by Georgia Farrell. And I love Georgia Farrell's designs. I follow her on Instagram, and they're inspired by architecture, and they're quite beautiful. And can you guys believe, but this will be my first time making a knitted shawl. I have crocheted shawls in the past, but this would be my first time actually making a knitted shawl. But when I tried that garment on, it was like trying on a cloud. It was so light, it was so soft, and it like flowed perfectly, like over, like when I tried it on, I just liked how it flowed around my neck, how it draped. And it was a shawl, but it felt kind of like a cardigan. And so the fit of it, and so I was like, oh, this would be really nice. And so of course I was thinking about the colors for a while, but I was really wanting to go with a royal blue main color and have my stripes in a lighter blue. And so I contacted Liz and I sent her an email, and I'm asking and hoping that they have those colors in stock. And also another garment that I really want to make from the trunk show is the striped tank by Chloe Thurlow. I think that she's a new designer with Rowan. And so I saw that garment and I was like so surprised, because that's another thing I love about trunk shows, because you get to have an opportunity to try out shapes and silhouettes that you don't usually flock to, that you know may not be your usual cup of tea. And so that one was like, I'm just gonna try it on. And at first I was like, whoa, this back is low. And so I tried it on with the cami top, and I was like, whoa, I love this so much. It's like the perfect summer top. So I'm hoping, again, I contacted Liz, that they have this kind of deeper gold yellow color. I don't want it to be like a pastel yellow, not like buttercup or something. I want it to be like a deeper yellow, similar to the Palermo top, because I really wanted to make a Palermo top. And when I tried on the yellow color, I was like, I knew it. I knew that I would love the Palermo top in this vivid yellow. It was so beautiful, so gorgeous. And I'm trying to talk myself out of making the Palermo top again, because I already made it. And so I try not to repeat patterns. That's just something new that I put on myself, because again, I used to repeat patterns all the time. And so I'm like, oh, I don't want to repeat a pattern. So that is why I chose to go with the yellow color for the striped tank, because I was like, maybe I could use a similar yellow towards, you know, another summer garment. And so I'm hoping that they have those colors in stock. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. You know, I'm just a fan of Rowan's yarns and their designers, and so it was just so much fun playing dress up and trying the garments on, because I just love doing that. And so doing it in the comfort of my home was even better, because I was able to do like the twirls and try it on with different things. And so that was a very fun experience. And so I'm so grateful and thankful to Luna Lola Yarn Shop. They are the absolute best. Okay, you guys, I think that I'm going to end it here. I don't think this will be a long episode today, and I will see you all next month. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you how my trade cardigan by J Star Moore is coming along, and maybe I'll have those top animals finished. All right, you guys, bye.